Hey everyone, are you ready to dive into something pretty cool?
I am.
Today we're going to be looking at selling digital products on TikTok in 2025.
Sounds interesting.
I know what you're probably thinking. TikTok, isn't that just for dances and trends and stuff?
Yeah, I could see that.
But it's actually becoming like a huge opportunity for people selling digital products, and we've got this script here with a bunch of tips. So
Okay.
I'm excited to dig into it.
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about how TikTok really combines a big audience with the unique advantages of digital products.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to worry about making physical products or shipping them, headaches.
Right.
It's all about creating something once and then boom, you can just sell it over and over.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome, right? Like, no more late night trips to the post office.
Right.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we break down why TikTok is such a good platform for this?
Well, I think if you think about it, TikTok's algorithm is all about showing people content they're going to like,
Mm-hmm.
It's all based on their interests, and this means, if you're selling something, your products have a really good chance of landing right in front of people who are actually going to be interested in them.
Okay.
It's almost like it's like a matchmaking service for your audience.
Okay, so you're not just throwing stuff out there and hoping for the best.
No, not at all.
You're actually getting it to a targeted audience.
Exactly, yeah. And also, TikTok makes it super easy to sell directly through your videos. They have this thing called TikTok Shop,
Okay.
and it basically lets people buy stuff right there. Like, they don't even have to leave the app,
Oh, wow.
which is huge for digital products because,
Yeah.
People want those right away.
Yeah,
That instant gratification is really important.
that's a great point. Okay, so let's say we're sold on this whole TikTok thing. How do we actually set up shop?
Okay, well, first things first, you're going to need a TikTok business account.
Yeah,
And that'll give you access to the TikTok Shop.
got it.
Then, once they approve you, it's all about making these really awesome product listings.
Okay.
So think like bright, eye-catching thumbnails that'll stop people from scrolling.
Right.
And instead of just static images, you want to use videos to show people how your product actually works.
So really grab their attention and show them what they're getting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And don't forget about words.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Those product descriptions, they got to be good. They need to highlight why it's good that people get it instantly and, what's going to change for them after they buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just listing out features, you want to use, more interesting phrases. Create desire, paint a picture of how much better things are going to be, skyrocket your brand with these amazing social media templates, or double your engagement overnight with this awesome TikTok ads course.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
It's like those, those late night infomercials,
Kinda, yeah, but cooler.
but way cooler, and they actually work.
Yeah, exactly. And just like those infomercials, you need a strong call to action. You got to tell people exactly what to do, like download now, click the link in my bio, or get it before it's gone, that kind of thing.
Okay, so we've got our shop set up. We've got cool visuals. We've got those great descriptions.
Mhm.
How do we make sure our stuff actually gets seen?
That's a good question.
Because there's a lot of content on TikTok.
Yeah, you're right. It's a very competitive place.
Yeah.
So that's where the strategic promotion comes in. And luckily, TikTok has a bunch of stuff built in that can really help. One of the best ways is to, create or participate in hashtag challenges.
Right.
Imagine making a challenge like hashtag glow up your brand and encouraging people to use your templates for a chance to get featured or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good way to get people involved in actually using the product.
All right. It's fun, it's collaborative, and it shows off what your product can do.
Mm-hmm.
And, speaking of collaboration, let's not forget about influencers.
Yeah. Influencers are huge on TikTok.
They really are. And partnering with the right ones, especially those who have good engagement and a real connection with their followers, that can be a game changer.
I bet. I can see how that would build a lot of trust, too, because people are way more likely to buy something if someone they already like is recommending it.
For sure.
But, with all this talk about influencers and hashtags and stuff, we can't forget about the content itself.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Right.
You got to make videos that are interesting, informative, and, make people want to buy what you're selling. And this script we have here, it lays out a really good formula for this. They call it the hook story offer approach.
Ooh, okay. The hook story offer approach.
Yeah.
I like it already. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So, it's all about like right away grabbing people's attention in the first few seconds, with a good hook, something like struggling to get more followers on TikTok. I know the secret, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then you got to tell a story that shows a problem that people have, right?
Okay.
And then you show how your product solves that problem. And then you wrap it up with like a really clear, can't miss it offer.
Okay. So it's like a mini movie, but instead of, selling popcorn, you're selling something that could actually, change someone's life or business.
Exactly. Yeah. It's pretty powerful stuff.
That's really cool. That's really cool. But I'm curious, like, with so much stuff on TikTok, how do we make sure our products, don't get lost?
Right.
It's not just about making good content, is it?
No, you're right. You have to use TikTok's algorithm to your advantage. Like, remember, it's all about showing people what they like, which means your videos, they could reach a ton of people without you even trying. That's the beauty of TikTok,
Okay.
You don't have to have like 1 million followers or spend a ton of money on ads to be successful.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, a little extra help never hurts, right?
Of course.
What are some other things we could do to get our products seen by even more people?
Okay, well, we already talked about the hashtags and the influencers,
Yeah.
which are both great. But there's another thing that people sometimes forget about. TikTok ads.
TikTok ads. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked into those too much.
Yeah, they can be really powerful, especially for digital products. Like,
Yeah.
you can actually target your ads to, very specific groups of people based on like what they're interested in, who they are, and this makes sure that your message is reaching the right folks, the ones who actually care about what you're selling.
So it's like taking that matchmaking service we talked about and like really, putting it into overdrive.
Exactly. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, that's cool. But let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the digital products themselves, Since they're not like physical things that people can hold, how do we make them seem just as, desirable as like a new phone or a cool outfit?
That's a great question. I think the key is to focus on the value, like what will this product do for people?
Yeah.
Don't just talk about the features, talk about the benefits, what problems it solves,
Right.
how it will make their lives better, easier, or just more enjoyable.
So it's about painting a picture of a better future. And this digital product is like the key to getting there.
Exactly, you got it. And remember, trust is a big deal online, especially for digital products. People need to know they're getting something good and that it will actually work.
Makes sense. So how do we build that trust then? What can we do to show people that our products are worth their time and money?
Well, there are a few things you can do. First off, you can use what's called social proof.
Okay.
Basically, you show people what others are saying about your product, like testimonials from people who love it.
Oh, yeah. So like let your happy customers do the talking.
Exactly. People trust other people more than they trust brands.
Yeah, that's true.
Another good tactic is to give people a peek behind the scenes, Show them how you make your product. Let them see your passion for it.
Like it makes me think of those cooking shows where you watch the chef,
Yeah.
and you see all the care and the work that goes into the food, and it makes you want to eat it even more.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. It's all about making a connection, building trust by showing the human side of your business.
That's really smart.
And then don't forget about tutorials. If you give people clear instructions on how to use your product, it shows them that it's valuable and that you actually care about them being successful.
Yeah, it's like you're giving them a little taste of what they can achieve if they buy it.
Right.
This whole conversation has been super helpful. I'm actually starting to feel like I could start my own digital product business on TikTok.
I think you could, yeah.
But before I get too carried away, I want to go back to something we talked about earlier about creating that sense of urgency. I get why it's important, but is there a risk of like being too pushy?
Right.
How do we find that balance?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And it's definitely something to be careful about.
Yeah.
I think the key is to use those urgency tactics, but not overdo it.
Okay.
Don't just keep hitting people with limited time offers all the time.
Yeah.
Instead, try to create that feeling of scarcity in a more genuine way, Like, Offer some exclusive bonuses or, early bird discounts for a short time.
So it's like it feels exclusive.
Right.
And it rewards people for taking action quickly, but it doesn't feel like you're forcing them to buy something they don't need.
Exactly. Yeah. You want to find that sweet spot where you're creating excitement and encouraging people to act, but without being too aggressive.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So we've talked about the power of TikTok Shop, how important it is to have good copywriting and visuals, showcasing value, building trust, using that algorithm, and even how to create urgency the right way.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
It really has. And this is making me think of those treasure hunt movies,
Uh-huh.
where each clue leads to another clue and the adventure just keeps going.
Yeah.
But before we keep going on our exploration, let's take a quick break to, regroup. We'll be back soon with the last part of our TikTok deep dive.
All right, so we're back for the final part of our TikTok deep dive.
Feels like we've covered a lot of ground, right?
It really does. We've been exploring this whole world of selling digital products, like finding all these little secrets and strategies.
It's been fun.
It has been. But like in any good treasure hunt, the real reward is when you put it all together, right? And actually find the treasure.
Yeah. And in this case, the treasure is all this knowledge, all these insights about, succeeding with TikTok and digital products. So why don't we recap some of the key takeaways from our deep dive? Where should we even start?
Well, I think it all comes back to why TikTok is such a good platform for this kind of stuff, right? You've got this massive audience. They're all engaged. The buying process is super easy, and the algorithm helps people discover new things. It's pretty amazing for creators and, anyone who wants to start a business.
It's like everything just kind of lines up perfectly.
Yeah, you could say that.
But, it's not enough to just put your product out there and hope for the best. We got to be smart about it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you got to have a plan. Be intentional with what you're doing.
So we're talking about creating those product listings, right? Making them look good, using videos, writing descriptions that, really show the value, what it can do for people.
Yeah, and don't forget about those calls to action, telling people exactly what to do next.
Right. And building that trust by, showing testimonials, giving people a behind-the-scenes look, making those tutorials.
Exactly. All those little things add up. And of course, we got to remember about promoting it strategically, using hashtags, working with influencers, maybe even trying out those TikTok ads.
It's like having a whole toolbox full of, different things we can use. It's pretty cool.
It is, yeah. But here's the thing I keep coming back to as we've been talking about all this. It's not just about selling, right?
What do you mean?
It's also about, building a community. Connecting with people, sharing what you're passionate about.
Yeah, I like that. It's about creating something that matters, that helps people,
Yeah.
It's got to be more than just making money.
Exactly. Of course, the money is nice, but the real reward is knowing you're making a difference, connecting with people, leaving something positive behind. And who knows, maybe you'll inspire others to do the same thing,
Yeah, that's a cool thought, As digital products become more common, how's that going to change how we think about work, about being creative? Will we see more people starting their own businesses, doing their own thing,
That's a great question. And honestly, I don't think anyone knows for sure yet.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a super exciting time to be, a creator, an entrepreneur, even just a customer in this world that's changing so fast.
So true. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our TikTok deep dive. But like we said, the journey doesn't have to end here. Go out there, explore, try different things, see what works for you.
Yeah, the world of digital stuff is always changing, so be curious, stay informed, and keep learning.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So until next time, keep diving deep and keep creating.